new study has shown that 20% of men on dating platforms attract 80% of women.
It's crazy.
The problem? Men nowadays aren't truly men. I mean, just look at the dudes around you. If you're a woman, would you date them? No, of course not. I mean, they're less masculine than the women they're trying to attract.
Where are all the men?
Gone.
It's clear that changing is necessary, but it may not always be clear what you need to change. In this video, we will go over the 9 unattractive habits that simply turn women off, the 10 masculine skills you need to cultivate because it's simply embarrassing not to have them, and the things you should be wearing right now because women find them extremely attractive. And no, it's not Crocs. It's never Crocs. It's really no wonder that 80% of men nowadays have an extremely difficult time finding a partner. And in a world in which we have been programmed to be aware of terms such as toxic masculinity, it might not always be easy to determine how real men should act.
You can act like a man! What's the matter with you?
But it's pretty easy to tell how real men would never behave. These are 9 habits that make you more feminine, unattractive, and simply turn off women around you. You know, a few years ago I had this friend, and he was the greatest at everything. He could get all the women, he could earn all the money, he was basically a modern day Hercules. What was the problem? None of it was true. And that brings us to the first unattractive habit, which is lying. A real gentleman never lies. Why? It's extremely shameful to get caught with a lie.
Monsters?
If you're asking yourself, what if telling the truth to a certain person will lower their opinion of you, or what if it will cause trouble? Well, that's because lying reinforces bad behavior. If you train yourself never to lie, you will force yourself automatically to make better decisions because you will know that you'll have to answer for them. Plus, a man's word means everything. A man without his word is nothing more than a little boy, and that's not what women want. Which brings us to the second point, not sticking to your word. Have you ever heard of the word integrity? If not, it's something you should cultivate. This is an enormous turnoff for women. It's when a man says that he's gonna do something, or a man says that he is something and he doesn't stick to it. For example, let's say that you tell your wife or your girlfriend or maybe even your mother that you're gonna clean your room by the end of the day.
I cross my heart and hope to die.
Well, you go to work, you come back home, you go to sleep, and by the next morning the mess is still in your room and she gets pissed. And you're all like, are you really getting this upset because of a room? It's not the actual room that she's upset about. It's the fact that you did not stick to your word. So when you promise something, when you say that you are going to do something, always stick to your word. You know what else is extremely unmasculine? It's not being ambitious and not having a purpose. A man without purpose is a lost man. And I truly believe that the lack of purpose is one of the highest causes of depression in men. Because let's say you have a job, let's say you go to work for 8 hours a day and then you come home. You're gonna be miserable if you hate the work you do, and then when you come home you simply play video games or watch movies. No, you need a purpose, you need something to drive you.
Why are you here?
Why am I here? Why are you here?
My purpose is that I'm trying to teach young men to become more gentlemanly, to become more masculine. That's my purpose. You need to find yours. Without it, you are not going to reach your masculine potential. You know what pisses a lot of women off? Is if you're always late. Look, if you're late once or twice, it's fine. No one will blame you. But if you make a habit out of it, if every single time you have to meet with someone, you're 5, 10, maybe even 20 minutes late, that screams something about you. And that screams arrogance. That screams that you think that your time is more valuable than the time of those around you. So how can you stop being late if this is pretty much a lifestyle for you? Well, there are a couple of things you should do. First of all, figure out how long it takes for you to get ready. Figure out how long it takes to shower, to dress up, to groom yourself before going out of the house. And let's say it takes you 15 minutes. That's a pretty decent time.
That's what she said.
Then, figure out, by using an app such as Waze, how long it will take you to get there. And let's say Waze tells you that at this hour, because of the traffic, it will take you 20 minutes to get there. Then add those two numbers. 15 plus 20, that's 35. Add those two numbers, add 5 minutes, just to be sure, and you get the number of when you should start getting ready to leave. Gentlemen, don't be boring. What do I mean by boring? A lot of times when someone is boring, it's not because they're actually a boring person, and it's because of social anxiety. And this is something a lot of men, me included, deal with. And the forms it usually appears is agreeing with everyone else. It doesn't matter if you have a different opinion. It doesn't matter if you don't believe in what you're saying. You will simply nod your head like a little puppet and agree because you're too scared of having a different viewpoint.
Agreed?
Agreed.
If you do this, if you're boring, no one will be around you, so it's time you change. And how do you do this? Well, when it comes to women especially, what you want to do is tease them. You want to poke a little fun of them, playful of course. You also want to be mysterious. Number 6 is the lack of attractive habits. Do you know what else is a very unattractive habit? Is the lack of attractive habits. And what do I mean by attractive habits? Well, it's stuff like going to the gym, reading, developing your style, playing the guitar, writing, anything that can be attractive to a woman. You basically don't want to be that guy who goes to work, comes home, watches movies, plays games, and that's his whole life.
You know, I like to watch 2 full movies before I go to work.
That's boring. You want to have something going on for yourself that you're very passionate about. Number 7 is not acting like a gentleman. Whoever said that chivalry is dead was wrong. Don't listen to them, they were wrong. Women like it when you are chivalrous, when you're well-mannered. What does it mean? Open the door for them. Hold the door open for them. Be courteous. Compliment them. That's how a gentleman acts, and that's how you should act. But being a gentleman is not enough. You also want to look like a gentleman.
The suit is a modern gentleman's armor. The Kingsman agents are the new knights.
Which brings us to number 8 on this list, and that's always being underdressed. You see, here in Europe we have this thing called a Balkan couple. And what a Balkan couple is, it's basically a very attractive woman who always puts a lot of effort into her appearance. She always wears dresses, makeup, skirts. You like that, right? You like it when women put effort and look good. Well, she wants you to do the same. In a Balkan couple, the guy is always underdressed. He wears football jerseys, he wears t-shirts, he wears jeans or sweatpants and sneakers. Just all you have to do is match her level of effort. Nothing more than that. If she's wearing a dress, wear a shirt. If she's wearing a skirt, just wear a polo shirt. That's all. That's all you have to do. You don't have to wear a suit or a tuxedo every day.
I am so underdressed.
And number 9, which is probably the most shameful thing you can do on this list, is letting your girlfriend dress you. If you have reached a certain age, if you are over the age of 10, if you're over the age of 10, you should not let a woman dress you. Okay, when you were young, hopefully just when you were young, your mother was dressing you up. Now you have a girlfriend or a wife, or you're trying to have one. It's time for you to pick your own clothes. If not, you're basically just wearing her clothes. Do you think a masculine man wears his girlfriend's clothes? Because if she picks them up for you, if she is the one choosing your outfits, it's her clothes.
I wore woman's clothes.
And a branch from this is guys who let their girlfriends do the shopping for them. I know couples like this, couples who are in their 40s or 50s, whose wives go shopping and they grab a random t-shirt off the rack and they don't even know the size of their husbands and they just go like, this will do, this is fine. And the shirt might be 2 sizes too long or too short, doesn't matter. Don't be that guy. But dressing up yourself, it's not enough. You need to know how you should dress. And if you want to know the most attractive items you can wear that turn women on like crazy, I have a list right here for you. Check it out. Hey, if you have any questions or topics that you would like to be discussed in a future video, all you have to do is comment down below or DM me on Instagram at gentlemens.order. This is by far the most voted item on the entire list. Basically, almost every single woman I have asked and voted in my poll said this item. And that is... They say dress to impress. But who do you think you're going to impress with your t-shirt and skinny jeans?
We don't sell skinny jeans at this location.
Men dress like crap nowadays. But you don't have to. These are the 9 items that women are simply begging you to wear. And I'm not just making this list up. I conducted a poll on Instagram in which only women voted. By the way, I'm going to tell you a quick story right now in which I was wearing the first item from this list. You know, a few months ago I was at a restaurant in my city when a woman simply walked up to me from the street and she told me how attractive I am. And on that day I was wearing the first item from this list, which was a navy double-breasted blazer. A double-breasted blazer like the one I'm wearing right now, and this is actually the blazer I was wearing on that day, makes you more masculine. It enhances your features and makes your torso look more well-defined and bigger. It's not something that every man can pull off, but if you go to a store and try it out and it looks good on you, I would highly recommend that you wear a double-breasted jacket.
I pull these off. I pull these off.
And why a blazer? Why not simply a suit? Well, the blazer makes you look more of like a sea captain. It gives you that nautical look. And it also gives you that Ivy League look. A very attractive look. And you can pair it with white, cream, maybe even gray pants, depending on the weather outside. Going on to number 2, this is by far the most voted item on the entire list. Basically, almost every single woman I have asked and voted in my poll said this item. And that is a shirt. Women don't want you to wear t-shirts. They look boyish, they look childish. Instead, wear a button-down shirt. And if you want to wear it even more attractively, roll down your sleeves and open 1 to 2 buttons. Not more than that, unless maybe if you're in Italy. That's fine. If you're in Italy, open 3 buttons. As for the color of this shirt, most women said white. A white shirt is the most attractive shirt you can wear. But black is also an amazing option, especially for night events. If you're going to a club, if you're going on a late night date, wear a black shirt, again, with the sleeves rolled up, and you're going to look amazing. And another great option, especially for the summer, and something that was extremely highly voted, was a linen shirt. And speaking of linen, that brings us to the third item, which are linen pants. When it comes to pants, there's 3 things we can focus on.
What sartorial tips would you give the young men of today?
First, we have the high-waisted or low-waisted argument. High-waisted pants are a lot more attractive, but I can understand if you don't want to go fully high-waisted. Instead, go for mid-waist. Mid-rise, as it's called. Now, this is a far more attractive and sartorially traditional option. Then it comes to whether you're gonna wear belts or side adjusters. This really doesn't matter. I would recommend you to have both options in your wardrobe, both belt loops and side adjusters. But all in all, this decision comes to you and you alone. Your pants should also be creased. Creased pants are a lot more mature than simple chinos. I'm not saying you shouldn't have chinos at all, but have at least a couple of creased pants, dress pants. And the third thing you should look out for is the fit. Fit, as in all items on this list, is king. You don't want your pants to be too baggy, you don't want them to be too skinny. Those 2 options are on opposite ends and they're both horrible. You also don't want your pants to be extremely long. They should end just right above your shoes. Number 4 on this list, it's a watch. Every man should have a watch. And here I don't mean a smartwatch. Smartwatches are for kids and for the gym. That's it. And you know, it's really a piece that you should invest in. Do not just buy a $50 watch, no. Instead, save up some salaries, save up some money, and invest in something that will last you a long time and that you can see it's qualitative. My personal preference when it comes to watches is Tissot. It's a Swiss company that makes absolutely amazing watches, not really on the Omega type of level, but I would say it's not very far from that, at incredible prices. I mean, most watches I wear on a day-to-day basis are at around the 300-400 euro range, which is very affordable for most people and something I would personally recommend. And when you do get a watch, a high quality watch, do not wear it all the time. This is another mistake a lot of men make. No, a watch should never be worn 2 days in a row. So go for at least 2 to 3 watches in your collection, that should be enough, and switch between them regularly.
How are you not writing this down?
Also, when it comes to watches, other accessories are just as attractive. A signet ring, maybe a necklace, some cufflinks, a tie bar, it doesn't matter, women love accessories. Number 5 on this list is a dark color suit, and I especially mean dark colored. You can go for a light color suit as well, that's fine, but it's not going to be nearly as attractive because a dark color suit gives you that mysterious, more James Bond type persona that women simply are very into. And your first suit especially should be either navy or dark gray, never black. But what's extremely important with suits is the fit. Fit, once again, is king. Rather than wearing an ill-fitting suit, don't wear a suit at all. That's literally the better options. If you're not wearing a suit that fits you well, do not wear a suit. You look awful. Awful. Number 6 on our list are turtlenecks, and I don't know why. I literally don't know why women love this so much, but women love turtlenecks. You can pair turtlenecks with either jackets, for example, you can wear a suit with your turtleneck, that's completely fine, or with coats. So pants, jeans maybe, with a turtleneck and a long coat. That's totally fine. An outfit that works amazingly for winter times. I don't know what it is. I don't know why women like turtlenecks so much, but they do. Number 7 are loafers. Now we're moving on to footwear. There are a few variations you can go for. Specifically for loafers, you have tassel loafers, penny loafers, bit loafers. But that's not as important. What I'm talking about is more of the color. You can go for brown leather, black leather, maybe even blue leather. That's totally up to you. You can also go for leather or suede. Those are the main 2 options. And for winter times or autumn, early spring, a great alternative for loafers are the Chelsea boots. Seriously, women love this. Wear loafers in the summer and Chelsea boots in the winter. Dress shoes and sneakers are somewhere in the middle, I guess, but those 2 are extremely attractive. Now, this list obviously would not be complete without fragrances. And I personally love the Tuscan Leather by Tom Ford. Now, this is a perfume I've been using for over a year now, and I cannot recommend it enough. But for summer times, I love Neroli Portofino, also by Tom Ford. If you're in the market for a very qualitative perfume and you have some money to spend, I would definitely look at those 2 options. And when it comes to fragrances, what you need to keep in mind is that just like with watches, it's not enough to have 1. Have 2, maybe even 3 that you switch between. Because some fragrances, like the Neroli Portofino, are great for summer and for daytime occasions, while other fragrances, like the Tuscan Leather, offer a more mysterious vibe that's better for winter times and for late night events. And you know, this is a very trial and error thing. I recommend you to go to your local Sephora or other shop or other similar shop and just try out multiple fragrances until you find one that fits your personality and your tastes. And how you wear a fragrance is basically right after you shower, apply 1 puff here and 1 puff here. I like to apply 2 puffs on this side, don't ask me why. That's enough. If it's a quality fragrance, it will last you the entire day, or at least half the day. And coming to the 9th and final item on this list, we have confidence. It's extremely important to have confidence because this is what women will see first of all. It doesn't matter if you have any of the items on this list if you're not confident, because a confident man wearing his PJs will be loads more attractive than a shy, insecure man wearing the best Brioni or Tom Ford suit.
That's so hot, I have to keep the shades up just to get a little circulation.
And confidence is really intrinsic. It's something that comes from loving yourself and from knowing you are capable. But it is something that you can fake. And this is how I became confident. It was at first by faking it. But in the long run, it's better to develop intrinsic confidence. And how do you do that? Well, that's by developing amazing skills. Professional skills, social skills, all of those. And if you want to learn what the most attractive skills that you can develop, I have a video for that right over here. You can check out. Hey there! If you're enjoying this video, why don't you take a minute to like, subscribe, and ring the bell to be notified whenever I upload a new video. Seriously, a bunch of you are not notified when I upload new videos, and you can solve that so easily, so just ring that bell. Just smash it. Also, let me know down in the comments what item gives you the most confidence when you're wearing it. It was not on this list, but for me it's sunglasses. When I put on my sunglasses, I feel like James Bond. So what's that item for you?
Get back there and smash it down!
Because I was a man, I was wearing a tie, I was once in a grocery store and the security guard came up to me and said, "Please follow me." You will probably agree that the reason most men nowadays are so feminine and unconfident is because of the lack of father figures.
It is the only way.
Well, these are the 10 masculine skills that your father should have taught you and that one day I will be teaching my son. Number 1 is conquering your mind. Before you do anything else, it's important to treat your mind like a temple, because that's where all of your insecurities come from. Your lack of confidence, your self-doubt, your anxiety, they all come from up here. And if you know how to fix yourself through meditation, through journaling, that's how you can become a better man, a more confident man. And how do you do that? Well, my favorite method is through stoicism.
Luckily, he'll handle it in a stoic, grown-up fashion.
And what stoicism basically teaches us is that there's 2 things in this life, 2 types of thought you could have. The first is something that you cannot control. For example, let's say that you're driving and someone cuts in front of you. Well, someone who's not a stoic might get upset. Someone who knows the lessons of stoicism will know that there's nothing they can do to change this. So if there's nothing you can do to change it, why even bother? Number 2 is training your body. And this basically means working out. It means building an aesthetic, masculine, powerful physique. And this is also helped by dieting. You need to be careful with what you put inside of your body. A real man should be capable of violence. Of course, he should always choose the peaceful route, but he should have that capability. Number 3 is cooking. Look, you do not have to be a master chef. You do not have to go in the kitchen and yell, "Where's the lamb sauce?" every time you cook something. No. But what you should do is have somewhere around 3 to 5 dishes that you can prepare very well. It's stuff that you have cooked maybe 5, 10 times in the past, and you can cook them without a recipe.
A woman loves a man who can cook, yeah?
Look, if you're on a date with a girl at your place or at her place, and you say, "Let me cook something for you," she's going to be extremely impressed by it. And it is also something that will save you a bunch of money. I mean, just think about how much money you're spending when ordering out. If you're cooking stuff for yourself, you will literally save up about 5 times more money. Number 4 is having a creative outlet. This is something that you should have in order to express your creativity. All of us are creative beings. And if you have a hobby, such as playing the piano, playing the guitar, writing, this is something that will make you a lot more attractive because it's something that you'll be passionate about. I personally play the piano, play the guitar, and write. Those are all things that I'm very passionate about. And especially for the musical instruments. If you play a musical instrument, that's a surefire way to guarantee you a second date, provided that you're not a creep. If you go on a date with a girl, or even talk to her on Tinder, whatever, and tell her that you know how to play the guitar, it's never happened to me for her not to say, "You should play something for me next time we see each other." Critical thinking is also very important. You need to know how to form your own thoughts. It's not enough to watch CNN or whatever other media outlet and let them form your thoughts for yourself.
Well, Javier, think for yourself.
That's how you get those people who get asked on the street about a certain political figure and they tell them, "Oh, I hate him because he's a sexist, he's a racist, he's I don't know what." And when you ask them what proofs they have for that, they never know how to answer. I'm not trying to be political, but what I am trying to tell you is to form your own opinions, form your own judgment based on multiple sources on the same topic. That's how you become a wolf rather than a sheep. You know what else is extremely important? It's leadership. A real man knows how to make the right decisions, and he knows when it's time to be the man of the family. Look, someday you might want to have a kid. Most of us want to start a family. Maybe you already have a kid. Well, if you have a kid, you are the person who knows what decisions are best, and you should be able to take those decisions. Moving on to something more fun, mixology. Look, along your life you are going to have guests over, and when you do have guests over, or maybe a special someone over, it's extremely attractive to know how to mix a drink. And another very important part of this is having your own preferred cocktail. For me, it's the old-fashioned.
Yeah, do this again. Old-fashioned, please.
Is it a bit derivative of Mad Men? Sure, but it's the one I prefer. Go to multiple bars and try out different drinks. Pick one that you like the most. Pick a few more, such as the Negroni, the gin and tonic, easy ones. Know how to make the basics. But this is all useless if you do not have any social skills. Imagine you're going out with a girl on a date and she's meeting your friends, and she is the social butterfly in that relationship. She's the one who's talking to everyone, meanwhile you're sitting on your phone pretending like you're busy when you're just swiping from one side to the other of the screen. I'm not saying that you should be an extrovert. I'm an introvert myself. But you should try your best to improve your social skills so that you can be a better member, a more attractive member of society. Number 9 is knowing how to tie your own tie, and this is truly how you become a man. Before you know how to tie your own tie, and I'm not saying bow tie, that's a lot more difficult, but still probably something you should know how to do. But I'm talking about normal neckties. Before you learn how to tie a necktie, you're a kid, a boy. After you know this skill, you are truly a man.
I don't know how to tie a tie.
Exactly.
There's literally only 2 tie knots that you should know. It's the Windsor and the 4-in-hand. Those are the only ones I use, and those are the only ones 99.9% of people who wear ties use. And this is an incredible skill to have. I was once in a grocery store and the security guard came up to me and said, "Please follow me." I went with him to the entrance of the store where he had his locker. He opened it up and took out his tie and said, "Can you please help me with this one?" Because I was a man, I was wearing a tie, and I did not go grocery shopping in the city, by the way. I was coming home from work. But because I was wearing a tie, other people were asking me for advice. It was photo day at this grocery shop, and all the employees needed to look their best. So he came up to me and asked me for advice. Know how to tie a tie, it's so important. And number 10 is knowing how to build an outfit. And this basically consists of 3 different things. 1, you need to find your style. It's not enough to just wear the same style all the time, because maybe another one would suit you better. There's so many styles you can choose from. I even have a list right here of the best ones, and some very awful ones that you should never try. But some of the best ones are smart casual, business formal, preppy, dark academia, old money. Some of those are aesthetics, not style, it doesn't matter. Next up, build your wardrobe. Go out and buy the pieces you need for that style. For example, for smart casual, you could buy jeans, solid colored t-shirts. For business formal, you could buy ties, suits, you get what I mean. And lastly, it's to build your outfit. Those are 3 sub-skills in this one skill. And if you want to know what style will suit you best, check out last week's video in which we have discussed why caring what others think of you and caring about your appearance will give you an unfair advantage in life, in which I have reacted to all the styles in a certain blog post I found online and told you which ones suck and which ones you should follow, and I have offered a definitive guide to improving your style. You can check it out right here.